If they are passionate and excited about something, then go with that. But every child is excited or interested in something. Hi, I'm Ashley. If we haven't met yet, I am a former English teacher and a current homeschool mom to 3. My kids are currently ages 6, 9, and 11. I like to find the joy among the chaos in life and in homeschooling, so that's what we talk about here on my channel. And we like to hit on affordable homeschooling curriculum, biblical-based resources, all under the umbrella of Charlotte Mason-inspired homeschool. I'm glad you're here if it's your first time. If it's not your first time, thanks for coming back. Hey, how's it going? So when it comes to chaos in life and finding joy in teaching our reluctant learners, that's what I want to chat about today. Those kids who are just not excited about workbooks. They're probably not excited about writing lessons or reading lessons, and they're not excited about school, and they just don't want to do it and they give you a fight. Maybe you have one of those kids. Hopefully it's not all your kids, and if it is, leave me a comment or email me. We need to talk. Oh, by the way, I've also invited a few friends to join me in on this collab. If you need some extra help from experienced homeschool moms about how to help your reluctant learner, you want to go check out their videos after you watch mine so you can get some extra help on this topic. So I have 4 things that might be able to help you with your kids that I've tried with mine. So let's go. Okay, first off, I have 3 words for you. Incentives, incentives, incentives. I know that some moms don't agree with this, but I'm definitely one that I'm happy to use incentives. I even use them for myself. For example, if I want to give myself a treat or if there's something I really don't want to do, I incentivize it. Like maybe after I fold my clothes and put them away, then I can sit down and watch my show. Does that make sense? Or after I do the dishes, put them away, then I'll let myself have a piece of chocolate. So I do that to myself all the time. It really should work for my kids too, right? And I know businesses use them all the time to motivate their employees. My husband gets great incentives from work. They really are just nice and they really do work. So think of some specific incentives that might help your reluctant learner. And this is going to be different for everybody, for every kid, for every parent and what you allow. Some parents probably don't appreciate food all the time or sugar for treats and incentives. Some kids I know love sticker charts and they're happy with just new stickers. Other kids, the sticker chart is just it's a no-go, and I get that. So just sit down and think about what your child who's struggling to want to do school and really just doesn't want to do it, find incentives for them. Even though they might start out doing it because of the external motivation, eventually, as they do it more and more, hopefully their internal motivation catches up to them. So now let's talk about the second thing that you can do for your reluctant learner. Make it fun. Yeah, give the kids small wins. You want to make things fun. You want to make it interesting for them to do instead of just handing them the workbook and a pencil and saying, here, go do this, bring it back to me by 3 o'clock. That doesn't sound very fun and engaging, does it? So what can you do to make learning fun for your students, for your kids? You want to give them small wins. You want to make sure that they enjoy something that they're doing. Pick topics that they enjoy. Does your kid like Star Wars? Give them Star Wars themed workbooks. Create Star Wars story word problems. Give them Star Wars snacks while they do math. Or maybe they like birds. Let them do a whole bird unit. Let them do bird math problems. Let them do bird drawing unit. Just whatever is interesting to them will hopefully again inspire and motivate them to want to learn. And I've got to say this here, maybe you're a workbook loving mama and this reluctant child is not. You may have to change a little bit to meet them halfway. Maybe this kid really does enjoy STEM activities or the messy arts and crafts things. I know it's a big work, it's a lot of work for us as moms, but let them do it. If it's something that motivates them, let them do it. Because if they see something as fun, they will be way more willing to do something, right? Well, usually, I don't know. Yeah, that's just my second tip for you. Now let's talk about the third thing you can do for your reluctant learner. So to balance out all the fun and the incentives and the parties, we need to go to the other side to bring a little bit of balance to this, and we need to make expectations clear. For example, you can go outside after you finish your reading. We do 2 pages in the workbook every day. No screen time until all your assignments are done. You can play with neighbor friends after all your school is done. So if they know they're going to get something if they finish their work, or maybe not get something if they don't finish their work, then they might be hopefully more motivated to learn and to pay attention to your lessons. So when your child has been refusing to do work all day and has been sitting on the couch, and then it comes to 5 p.m. and they see their siblings getting to do their screen time, and they still are working on their schoolwork and haven't done any that day, there's gonna be a lot of tears. Yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Hopefully this child will learn that you are serious, and that if they know what these expectations are, they will eventually hopefully meet up to them. And if you haven't tried that, try that. And then maybe after a few times of doing this and a few times of realizing, I'm not gonna get that if I don't finish my work. And then hopefully they will be able to do the assignments that you've given them in a much more timely manner. And lastly, we wanna try to adapt. Adapting is gonna be super helpful for these kids. You wanna try to change things up and be willing to try new things if certain things are just not working. Maybe not fully changing a curriculum, but just adapting to your kids' needs and adjusting things to help them to do what they need to get done. So I feel like for me, one of my strengths as a homeschool mom and as a former teacher is being flexible. I'm willing to adapt to my kids' needs. What I do is I try to read my kids and I try to get to know them and think, okay, what makes them really tick? Or what might be certain things that get them motivated to do things? And for some kids, it's really hard to figure that out. I know how it goes. I have one child. There are certain things where I really just don't know what motivates this child. Some of them are more easy. It's like, oh, I know what you want. I know what you want to get and what drives you. But with this other child, it's a little bit more difficult. But here's an example for how I've adapted to meet my child's needs. One of my kids is not an early riser. So I don't make this child start work right away in the morning. I don't make them get up too early anyway. And I don't, throw their hardest lessons and throw math at them first thing when they wake up. I let them have a little bit slower morning. I let them start with some of their easier subjects like piano and a few other things. And then once their brains and their bodies are warmed up, then we do the harder subjects. Then we do the math, and then we do the writing, all those things like that. So that's one way that I've adapted to help this child. So with you and your child and adapting, try to figure it out. Is what they're doing too hard for them? Is the curriculum too challenging? Or maybe the curriculum is not challenging enough and they need a challenge and they're getting bored with it. Or maybe you need to really just outsource this subject. You could hire a tutor. There's lots of online options for that. Or maybe you know somebody locally who can help you with that. You can find a piano teacher or, a math tutor or a Spanish teacher. Maybe they would work better with their dad on a certain subject. So as homeschool moms, we don't have to do everything, but we do have to curate our curriculum and our style and all that we need in order to help these kids to try to get them to want to learn and to enjoy their school. Okay, I know I just told you to adapt and to change things, but really sometimes you need to be consistent. And this is a part where I struggle with, maybe you struggle with it too. So if you're really good at adapting and being flexible, maybe you need to try the other side and bring some balance and bring some consistency to the table. And again, that goes along with your kids knowing what the expectations are. So maybe this is a curriculum you need to stick with and you need to just keep going. And then maybe once your learner understands what is expected of them, then they will take it and run with it. This is like my second child. He was really struggling with a few of his assignments and the lessons that we were doing, but I realized it was because he didn't know how to do it and he didn't know what was expected. He really likes things to be done right and done well the first time. So when he didn't know what he needed to do, he was like, I don't want to do this, and the tears, and it's too hard, do it for me, mommy. But when I'm consistent with him and he does the same thing every day, eventually he's like, oh, I got this. And now he's good. He's good. He knows what to expect. So for him, anytime we give him something new, it's a bit scary. But once he knows what's coming, he's good to go. But I gotta say, with your reluctant learner, it can be super frustrating. I get it, guys. I get it. So frustrating. Sometimes it makes you want to send them to school, or maybe you think that you're being a bad homeschool mom. But don't go there. Don't go there with those thoughts. Just keep showing up every day. Keep showing up. Try not to lose patience with them. Just keep that patience. Pray and ask the Lord for some patience if you need it. And if you keep chipping away one day, one lesson at a time, you will be building good fruit in the long run. So don't give up, friend. Don't give up. And lastly, I want to encourage you in this. You are not stuck to using one teaching style or learning style for your children. Keep trying new things and trying to figure out your child until you find something that does fit with them. They are made and created in a certain way, and the Lord knows what that is, and there are certain things that are going to work for your child, and maybe you just haven't found that yet. If they are passionate and excited about something, then go with that. Even if they're not a very expressive child, maybe they're just not very expressive about their passions and things. And again, that's okay. But every child is excited or interested in something. I hope these tips help you with your reluctant learner. Let me know in the comments what you think or if you've got any more questions. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet. I'd love to see you stick around here. And you guys rock at homeschooling. You really do. You're doing this good. So you go find his joy among the noise. See you next time.